we be live? Let's see. Where did I put that thing? What's going on, guys? It's hooked up. Maybe it is. Let me check. What's happening, guys? Got a few questions here via email that are pretty long. So I thought I would hop on here, see if a couple of people are online, and then go through a couple of these. One lady was asking about really large saunas, which is a bit unusual. But what's up with you guys? How have you guys been? How is everyone? What are things like in your neck of the woods right now? Nobody? Nobody? Put something in the chat. You gotta at least say hello. While you're doing that, let me find the sauna question that we're gonna do first. Here we go. So a lot of people have asked about these dome sauna things. I shouldn't call them dome sauna things. Dome sauna is a dome sauna. There's a ton of these. Most people have seen my review of the sunlight and domes where the EMF is completely unmitigated. Well, I'm not a huge dome fan just because it's not super comfortable for me to get in there. And then you're kind of laying in your own sweat. But there's been some interesting questions come up lately about the portable saunas that I've got in the other room for the portable sauna showdown. Somebody brought up a good point that I don't have a dome sauna anymore. I used to have the sunlight and dome sauna that they lent me to test it out. And somebody brought up a good point. Hey, it would be a good idea to have a retractable dome sauna, because that's usually how they are. Like one piece slides over the other and it's retractable. So when you're not using it, you can kind of store it away. They are right. It is a compact solution. And somebody reminded me that, hey, if you're going to do, I call it a cadaver bag, but if you're going to do the infrared sauna blanket or the infrared sauna bag, whatever you want to call it, it's the one by Higher Dose that's in there on the floor. If you're going to do that compared to the DIY and then compared to the tent saunas that you sit in and zip yourself up and your head sticks out the top, they're all kind of, except for the DIY, they're all kind of head out saunas. So it would be a good idea to do the dome. Here's what we're going to do. I've been working with David. We haven't really been able to find, or we don't know of a dome that's perfect, but I think we can get one that's pretty good. So I think what we might do is we might source a couple of those on his side, and then I might add one of those to the portable sauna list. The reason that I'm telling you guys about this is there any, because we're getting really, really close now, is there anything else like that I haven't thought of that you would like to see included? Yada, 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 because now's the time. We're getting really close. The DIY is almost completely done. We've got a couple tweaks to do with the mounts and the layout configuration. I'm also going to have somebody film me sweating in it so that you can see like the preheat times and all that stuff. And then once that sucker is ready to rock and roll, what we're going to do is we're going to line an entire room with nothing but portable saunas, and then we're going to do the showdown. But I didn't consider adding the dome. So is there anything else? Somebody mentioned the blanket. I kind of already knew about the blanket. I just don't really like them, but I bought it anyway. So we got the blanket, the domes, we've got the DIY. Kind of got a version of all kinds of portables, but maybe there's something else that you guys would like to see. And that leads me to the next question before we get to this lady's questions on the large saunas. Is there some other way that I could serve you guys that isn't necessarily centered around saunas? Somebody asked a really good question, and it was also in a book that I read recently about business. And it has to do with, a business is solving problems and serving people, right? And I'm a person that buys saunas, but I also buy a lot of other things. And so maybe there's other equipment that I have here, or other supplements or other health devices or other exercise equipment or whatever it is. Is there other stuff that we could be showing especially when I have other people come over and help film, because we could knock out 10 or 20 videos in a single day if there's somebody else running the camera gear, which I'm going to do very soon again to finish the DIY thing. But is there other stuff? Because there's so much health equipment here. There's so many things that we could do videos on or reviews or talk to people about. What are the other areas that I could better serve you guys that I'm not thinking about? Because there's so much, like so many things are centered around saunas. There's part of me that's really suffering in regards to talking about business or creating a digital business or selling products online or being a YouTuber or creating a lifestyle blog or doing this, that, and the other. And that's something that I'm super passionate about because it's changed my life. And that's actually what allowed me to do this in the first place, because otherwise I would have had health troubles and I wouldn't have been able to work, and then I would have been without a job, and then I would have been in financial ruin if it wasn't for the decisions that I made to get into some type of a digital business. And I think a lot of people feel like it's beyond them, like they're not capable, or that's not for them, or they don't have the skill sets, or they, you know what I'm saying? Like there's all these limiting beliefs around it. And I had those, and it's a very passionate portion of my personality that wants to like talk about that stuff and have a separate YouTube channel and everything else. We're getting off track here, but those are things that are way outside of what most people expect from this channel. But it's still stuff in here and in here that really wants to come out and start the conversation and help other people and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is the sauna stuff feels saturated to me. Like, how many times do you want me to review or do a comparison between a couple of the same brands? It just gets, it's easy because most of the time they're right behind me. Not every model of every brand, obviously, because you would need an entire warehouse to do that. Davis says, I'd like to hear you talk more about the best types of red light. Yeah, I'm on it. I've got one in the other room that I really, really like. I'm totally over the Juve thing. I think the Juve people are bullying people out of the space. So there's been some other guys. I think I don't think it's platinum LED. It's either Gamba Red or one of the other smaller guys that try to bring something really good to market with low flicker, low EMF. I think they got bullied by Juve because infringing on patent, but really I think Juve is so big and owns too much market share. They don't really want other people to get into the space. But yeah, that's on the agenda, but I've made too many commitments to too many people to actually, I understand what you're saying. I'll take that down as a no. Thank you. Thank you very much for the recommendation. It's on the list of agendas. It's just behind on the schedule. It's behind the portable saunas because I've made a lot of commitments to a lot of people to do some of the portable sauna stuff. Both companies, I said I would review their thing and see how it compares, and then also to a lot of people. And then my number one top priority right now is the DIY stuff, because I'm pretty sure I've got it 100% handled. I think it's the best thing that you can possibly get for under 500 bucks. It's really going to cost about $220 for somebody to build. And so for people that are really struggling health-wise and they need some type of a sauna experience, don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of space, I think it'll be a game changer for those people. Most folks think that they can't put something together like that for so little money and use it anywhere, like in an apartment or whatever. And so for a couple $100, we'll be able to bring the sauna experience to anyone, anywhere, with just stuff that you can order on Amazon with no tools. So I'm really excited about that. And it's, I'm very transparent about it. I'm upfront. If this is your first time seeing these videos, by no means is this, DIY botched put together thing going to be a replacement for one of those. But the type of person that's looking for one of these, really isn't in the market for that. It's a completely different thing. So that's number one. Definitely going to do the red light therapy devices. I don't have all of them. Like I say, the one in the room next door tests really well. Low flicker, low EMF, awesome. Always good to hear about building online business. Yeah, I mean, that's like, I'm really passionate about that. There's some days where I just want to come in here and take this shirt off and blur out the background of the saunas and just talk business. But I've done some surveys before and people pretty much agree with what I was thinking. It should really be a separate channel. It's a separate audience. And then people kind of freak out if one day you talk about saunas and health and detox, and the next day you talk about making money. And, some people get really bent out of shape about that. But the truth is, if online business hadn't been good to me, or if I hadn't learned what to do before I got into saunas and before I had health troubles, none of this stuff behind me, none of these things that you see today would even exist. I wouldn't have had the money to buy the saunas. I wouldn't have had the money to take care of myself. And I wouldn't have had any income left in order to go through those health challenges and pay out of pocket for functional medicine doctors and do all the wrong things that didn't work. I didn't know that at the time, but can you imagine, relying on 9 to 5 income, and then all of a sudden your brain stops working well, or you have chronic fatigue, or you've got anxiety and panic attacks just going to the grocery store. I mean, like these things are no joke. It's not a, it's nothing to mess around with. But that, I think that also makes the online business thing near and dear to my heart too, because it changed what I was capable of doing going through those particular periods of time. And if it wasn't for that, what you see today wouldn't even exist. There's no way that I could even afford to do half of the stuff that I did. So anyway, trying to think of what else. We're so off track. This is not what I had planned. Anyone else have any questions? I'm going to shut the live off, and I'm just going to record a video about the 2 other topics, and then I'll put them up for a replay. But while I'm still here, any questions? Any questions? Any other ideas, Deva, besides red light therapy devices or red light therapy lights? Hopefully you're not talking about chromotherapy stuff, and you're talking about actual photobiomodulation, because those little like face lights and stuff that you put on your head from Amazon, or what did I experience recently that I thought was not ridiculous, but it's not the same as a PVMT light or an actual red light therapy device. It's one of those built-in full spectrum things that had inside one of those little portable saunas. It's like it's a row of like 5x20 LEDs that are kind of pointed at you. But if you look at them and the entire device, there's not a big enough power supply for that to have therapeutic output. So I'm not sure what, like, I think some people are having the wool pulled over their eyes when it comes to red light or full spectrum light therapy, or infrared therapy, I should say. That's a better word for it. That's not really red light therapy. You don't have like you don't have a strong enough output to reach the therapeutic range, in my opinion. That's not to knock what these companies are trying to do. I mean, they're trying to do a good job, but at the same time, I don't know, man. It's just not. I think it's kind of it feels like bait and switch to me, because when I experience one of those and then I go in front of like a hanging panel that looks like a Juve or something, but it's a different brand, the intensity is completely different. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like you can feel the penetration or the heat like in far infrared or in a sauna or something, but you can tell that there's a ton more output. Katie says, watching one of your older videos on meditation by feedback devices, interested in hearing more. Okay, cool. What would you like to see? I've got something going on in the other room that you might like to see. A lot of times I don't make videos on this stuff though. I might film this whole deal though. What I'm doing right now is I'm building a DIY sound table. So I ordered a massage table, and then I've been researching resonators and different types of like bass shaker type things. And I settled on something that David recommended. They're called Sound Hearts. And what we're going to do is put together, I ordered a kit, and I'm going to make some mounting plates for the massage table that you flip it upside down, you make mounting plates underneath it. And essentially, instead of spending like $5 grand or going to a healthcare practitioner or a natural health place that does these, or like a Tibetan bowl, you build a DIY sound table. It's got a little amplifier. You've got your over-the-ear headphones to cancel out any noise in the room. And then you're using a synced up amp to match or sync the headphones to the resonators. So then you get the full body experience, almost like the, it's like a souped up version of the Huso. I don't know if you guys have seen the Huso, or the Uriel tones is what it used to be. I have a Uriel tones. They now call it Huso. But yeah, Katie, we could talk about all kinds of stuff. We've got, geez, Soda Instruments Biotuner, I love. What would be the other one? Neurophone, Patrick Flanagan. It's pretty cool. I'm really excited about this sound table thing. I do tons of binaural beats, tons of Monroe Institute, into a little bit of isochronics. I'm trying to think of the other machines that I have. Light and sound machines, other kinesthetic CES devices like the cranio electrostimulation stuff. I've got a couple that have neck pads, a couple that have ear pads, and I've also used and own the FDA approved one that goes on the temples. I think it's called a oh, the name escapes me at the moment, but it is a, I don't know, just Google it. It's the only FDA approved device on the market. I like the soda one better, but they can't tell you what it does because it goes against the guidelines. They're not able to talk about health claims. Trying to think of, I'm just trying to spit out a bunch of stuff so that if something resonates with you, you see this later, you can come back in the comments and say, hey, can you do a video on that specific device, or can you do a comparison? Like one of the things I was thinking about buying was a neurofeedback machine, but I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how the sound table works out. So I think that's probably more than you wanted to know, but got all kinds of crazy experiments going on in my house that are sort of like that. Let's see, anything else? Any other questions, guys? I'm gonna do regular production day after this, but I just wanted to say hey, see if anybody had any questions, and then if those folks that emailed and I haven't been able to get back to happen to be online, I'd just answer their questions live. So give you guys a little extra attention. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been still interesting time down here in Florida. The real estate market is still going nuts. I don't know what's going to happen with this forbearance thing and all the other stuff that's going on, but interesting year. Hope you guys are doing great. We'll see you in the next video.